the field begins to enter turn number 11 as they make their way onto the front straightaway. We get set to go racing for the first time today. The USF 2000 Series about to go green.
Kalen Frederick on the pole, Keith Donegan on the outside. American, an Irishman. Here we go. Green, green, green. Great start already for Frederick. Gets a good jump. Donegan trying to pressure on the side, trying to see if he can't get Rasmuth Lint to lift. They're going to go hardcore into turn number 1. This is where the chaos can happen. They've got to give each other room. They got to respect each other coming out here. Very tough part of the racetrack. Through turn number 2 now. Here comes that long run down Lakeshore Boulevard into one of the toughest parts of this racetrack, the hard-braking right-hand turn number 3. Big incident there yesterday in Pro Mazda. Will USF 2000, will cooler heads prevail? Will they get through? No, a driver locking it up. That's Frederick. The leader locks it up. The leader locked it up. The contact further back, nowhere to go. Jose Sierra at the very back says, okay, I'll back up. Thank you so much. I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots in turn number 1. 7 drivers at least involved there. Everybody up front. Oscar De Lizariaga involved, Colin Kaminsky, Russell McDonough. There's Rasmuth Lint trying to find a way by. They're getting him to stop. Another driver involved up there as well. I want to say Kalen Frederick was involved.
Darren Keene involved as well.
Was that Keene or was that Keene?
That was De Lizariaga. That was De Lizariaga. You're right.
So that's the 38 of De Lizariaga. I don't think there's going to be a lot of damage on Oscar's car. He should be able to get going, but here they come by. Kyle Kirkwood.
Unbelievable.
How does Kyle Kirkwood go to the lead? He started 5th. Igor Fraga up to 2nd. Daniel Frost in 3rd. The exclusive Autosport drivers get through. The 81 and the 82. Bruno Tomaselli and Kyle Dupel started 15th and 16th. They now run 4th and 5th because they were able to stay out of the incident. Here comes the number 80 as well, Julian Vandervaart.
It was Keene involved in that. De Lizariaga just came by. Yep.
Darren Keene involved again. I thought it was the 38. Indeed, it was the 36. Darren Keene just not having any luck whatsoever. He got pinched by Jose Sierra in yesterday's race. Sierra went off and into the wall. This was just the issue of drivers coming in there and overcooking it. You could see that Kalen Frederick kind of started everybody trying to outbrake each other, but the problem was Calvin Ming was on the inside, the number 21. He's trying to outbrake your pole sitter coming into that corner, Michael. They get down there. They both outbroke each other. Neither of those drivers was going to be able to make the corner. Kyle Kirkwood, the veteran, on the inside behind Calvin Ming, checks up and says, it's all yours, guys. And you just know, if we get a chance to see a replay, you're going to see the white 8-ball, number 8 of Kyle Kirkwood, just coming right back up inside when everything else just rolls.
And that was the situation with a lot of those cars. The Keene car, as we made our way towards the back as well, the Kaminsky machine, they were all on the outside. So when Frederick went into that runoff area, everybody on the outside just kind of piled in. They really had nowhere to go.
It looked to me, the interesting thing was I think that Ming completely missed the corner. He just missed it totally straight into the barriers. It looked to me like Frederick got on the brakes, locked them up, but I think he probably had it wound up enough that he would have been able to make the corner, but there's nowhere to go because Calvin Mings has already center punched and is essentially, lying perpendicular to the track. Yeah, there's Kalen Frederick rolling. There's no issue for Kalen. He just got stuck from the back, so get ready. We're going to watch Kalen Frederick coming from deeper in the field, probably around 12th position. He is going to be absolutely on a tear. Colin Kaminsky, you got to feel for Colin and Russ McDonough, Darren Keene. These guys were not involved at all. They were just trying to get through and got collected, but that is the nature of the beast in turn number 3.
Here comes Keene. It looks like there's no damage. I didn't think there was much damage to that car, so he's back out on the circuit.
Didn't lose a lap either, so Darren Keene back out. I'm happy to see that for Darren. He didn't deserve that at all. Had a rough one yesterday, getting pinched into the wall coming out of turn 3 and 4 by Jose Sierra. Not the start we wanted, that's for sure.
And how about Jose Sierra? Starting dead last and just, as you said, just kind of wound it up, backed up and said, thank you, fellas. Jose goes from 18th to 7th. And didn't do anything.
No. And again, like what you and I talked about this yesterday, there are different ways you can approach when you start at the back. Harrison Scott yesterday in Pro Mazda got super aggressive. He ends up getting in that huge wreck in turn number 3 in Pro Mazda. On the other side, Jose Sierra says, you know what, I'm good. Here's the replay as they come down in. You can see that's actually Kalen Frederick on the inside. Look at Kyle Kirkwood going to the apex, and he almost overshoots the apex. So look how wide he is coming in there. Everybody trying to outbrake everybody. No, that's the.
Yes.
That. Actually, I'm trying to figure out who that was. That was Keith Donegan. So Keith Donegan, there's a spin there, someone getting contacted. That was Dakota Dickerson, I believe, that might have got looped around there. So if we can look at this again, now that we've had a good look at it, we'll give you the – thank you. We're going to get a second look here, Michael. This is what we wanted because now we've kind of seen it. It is indeed – there's Kalen Frederick out braking. Here comes Keith Donegan. He thinks he's got it. It's Donegan that goes straight into the tires. He doesn't make it at all. He overcooks it. Donegan straight into the tires. The rest of the drivers right behind them able to tuck up to the inside and continue on. I want to see who got spun coming through.
And Kalen Frederick may have been able to make it through.
He would have.
Had Donegan not been there.
He loaded up enough, and you got to do it in a straight line. If you're turning and trying to brake at the same time, it's not going to work. So he straightened the wheels, got it woed up.
Here we go again.
Here's another shot again. So you're going to see the brake smoke very quickly from Kalen Frederick. He's on the inside. He's got Calvin Ming on the outside. He's trying to overbrake him. They're both trying to outbrake each other. There's no sense in doing this. Everybody overcooks it. Donegan says, hey, I got an opportunity. He's way too quick into the corner. He's going straight off. Kyle Kirkwood from the outside is going to come across cleanly. He was essentially fourth to the corner. He and Igor Fraga coming through cleanly, and there's the one driver getting spun around, and that indeed was Dakota Dickerson, I believe, who got looped around, trying to figure out which driver got into the back of him. One of the pass cars, I'm going to say probably Lucas Cole. I think Lucas Cole in the 22 getting in the back of Dakota Dickerson.
And then as you see, everybody on the outside just piled into each other. We had nowhere to go, with the exception of Jose Sierra. He's like, hey, guys, I'm going to get this thing turned around, and here we go.
Well,
I'd rather be lucky than good sometimes, and for Sierra, that is the key.
Well, he's that far back, right? He gets that run down into turn number 3, gave himself some room to see what was happening. And you can be sure that Jose Sierra coming into the braking zone, they're 500 yards ahead of him coming in first, and he sees the brake smoke. You know he's on the brakes early, saying, hey, I'm going to be good here. I'm going to make up some spots. That was just drivers being over-anxious. And you hope with some of these kids, they've got so much experience in karts coming in, they know. You hate to bring the line out, do you not? You can't win the race in the first corner, but you can sure lose it. And the same goes for turn 3 here in Toronto. You make a minor mistake like that, overcook it going in, and this is the issue. You'll knot up a bunch of equipment. So
there goes Kalen Frederick.
He's taking advantage of this extended yellow to make sure the car is absolutely perfect for him to work his way forward. But hey, you know what? Good opportunity for us here to begin the day with everybody who has come out here to watch the initial events here on Sunday, to give props to the AMR IndyCar safety team, Michael. This is, to have these guys here, they were right there on the incident once it happened. Yesterday we had a massive crash in Pro Mazda. Harrison Scott making contact, tapping the wall, getting into another driver, and launching over Stingray Robb. You saw it on TSN last night. It's been all over social media. That car launching off of Stingray Robb, 15, 20 feet in the air, barrel rolling, coming down. I saw a video this morning, and the video's all obviously going to keep coming out. He's up and over as he lands into the runoff of turn number 3. Michael, there's already an AMR safety team member running to the site. They're not even stopped on the racetrack, and the AMR safety team member looking back at the track, making sure he doesn't get taken out. He was there he was already going before Harrison had stopped sliding on the asphalt.
And the key to the AMR safety team, it's the same guys week in and week out, that they are familiar with these race cars. They're familiar with the drivers. They know what's going on. So when anybody has an incident, when they get there, they know instantly what to start looking for. Now, this is the incident yesterday in the Pro Mazda race that Rob Howden is talking about. You'll see Harrison Scott hit the wall there. He then goes over Saravalli,
loses his brakes. Look at all 4 corners destroyed, and he just launches right off the rear wing of Stingray Robb. He does a nice 180-degree roll here. He lands on the roll hoop with a scratch on his helmet as well. You can't see the safety team, but look at that. He had so much air. He came down hard, slid all the way into the runoff area. The AMR safety team was already rolling the truck when that last car came through. Like, absolutely tremendous. The level of safety and support that these guys give, not only to the Verizon IndyCar Series, but to everyone on the Mazda Road to Indy. That's something you just can't put a price on.
And again, to let you know, that incident we just saw was in yesterday's Pro Mazda race. Harrison Scott, okay. They worked diligently till midnight last night and got that car ready to go.
There was a lot of guys burning some midnight oil. They were working on the car. Same goes for Parker Thompson. He was involved. The Canadian driver who had won the last 3 USF 2000 races here in Toronto came in, started third, got a good jump up into second on the restart. David Maluka's getting into the side of him in turn number 1. The damage didn't look that bad, but he had hit the wall hard. It got into the gearbox, a differential, a significant expense for Parker, really a hard hit for his budget. So let's throw the shout out here right now. If you are a businessman who wants to get behind a race car driver, Parker Thompson needs some help if he wants to finish this season. I think we're going to go back to green here this time by Michael. Indeed, we are. They're going to line them up single file coming through turns 9. Here they are, the off-camber turn 10 through turn number 11. Kyle Kirkwood, your point leader, getting gifted the front spot. And we're back underway. Green, green, green. Racing into turn number 1. Good start for Kyle Kirkwood. Good run here for the 2 exclusive Autosport drivers, Igor Fraga and Daniel Frost. Fraga, 18 years of age. Daniel Frost from Singapore, just 16 years old. Absolutely loves this racetrack. I had both of those guys on the Cooper Tire stage yesterday for a Q&A. They both said this racetrack is now their favorite track. They finished 7th and 8th yesterday.
Daniel Frost, Bruna Tomaselli running 3rd and 4th. Nice look to the inside for Igor Fraga.
Igor Fraga to the inside. Book it. Fraga, your new leader. Igor Fraga with a move to the inside at turn number 1. Michael called it. Great pass to the inside. And here's the thing, and I'd mentioned this coming into this weekend. If you get in there and really push Kyle Kirkwood hard, I don't think he's going to race you as aggressively as he needs to. He has the championship pretty much locked up. Yeah, he'd like to win a bunch more races, but there's no need to get involved in an incident, start paying for crash damage when you've essentially got this championship locked up. He's won 7 of the 8 races. Kyle Kirkwood will very likely be in Pro Mazda next year with that $350,000 scholarship from Mazda. He's just got a couple races to stay out of trouble.
And I think Kyle just left that bottom lane open, and once Igor got there, he's like, you're right, take it. But I would suspect Kyle's going to try to get back around and win this race.
Well, here's what Kyle's going to do. I don't see Kyle Kirkwood pressuring him to pass him. Kyle's going to push, and see if he can't push him into a mistake. Right. There's no need for a low percentage pass here for Kyle Kirkwood. He's done so well this year. Here he is. Now he's going to take a run. Here goes Kirkwood back at it. They'll come back down into turn number 3. They're side by side. I think Kirkwood may clear him on the outside. No, Fraga's going to get him. And a nice move there. Fraga runs a little deeper into the corner. Side by side into 4. Kirkwood's got to give it up. Kyle Kirkwood on the outside was thinking going 2 by 2 coming through turn number 4. That does not work, Michael.
And it's allowed Daniel Frost now to catch Kyle Kirkwood. Kyle almost lost his cool there and went too wide through turn number 4, and that would have been very costly because Igor Fraga made that USF 2000 machine very wide.
Well, an ideal defense for Igor Fraga. You come down that long straightaway, you got the inside, it's your apex. You control the exit point as well. He pushed a little wider on the exit. That made sure that Kyle couldn't come around and go side by side with him. So Igor Fraga, the young driver from Brazil, born in Japan, leads the way here for Exclusive Autosport. Kyle Kirkwood for Cape Motorsport runs in second. Exclusive Autosport first and third with Daniel Frost. Bruno Tomaselli in the 4th spot. Kyle Dupel in 5th. 4th and 5th for the 2 Team Pelfrey drivers. Interesting, though, remember, Exclusive Autosport, they got a pretty good car here for Toronto. They won both races last year here with Parker Thompson.
Jose Sierra losing a couple of spots that last time. Actually, that was weird. They had the timing and scoring had him down in 12th and then shot him back up to 6th. Kalen Frederick back to 7th, though. A nice charge for Kalen.
Not surprising me whatsoever. Right. Kalen's a very fast driver. He's been good here this weekend. Qualified that number 24 machine on the pole. Of course, the issue on the opening lap. We're just getting rolling here. 8 laps of a scheduled 25, and we still have lots of time to go. So we got a long run here. These drivers will continue to work their way forward. Kirkwood stays on the gearbox of Igor Fraga. Those 2 drivers trying to stretch away. Almost over 8/10 of a second ahead of Daniel Frost, who has 2 seconds on Bruno Tomaselli.
So the lead goes to Igor Fraga out of turn number 11. Kyle Kirkwood, 4/10 of a second behind last time by that car length. Now drops down to 2/10 of a second. Kyle Kirkwood beginning to put the pressure on.
Kirkwood's right there. Got a great car, number 8. again, it's so hard to try to get a driver to back off a little bit, knowing that if you finish second, you're still solid in the championship. He wants to get the win. He wants to keep winning. He wants to put his name in the record books, and he wants to make sure the Verizon IndyCar Series owners say, hey, who's this Kirkwood kid? Who's this young American who's so good? Fraga locking up the right front tire. Now, Michael, you start doing that too many times, and it'll want to start locking up. If you flat spot the tire, every time you roll through there, it wants to grab that flat spot, and it just gets worse and worse. Fraga's got to take care of the brakes, but I'll tell you, Kyle Kirkwood is not done at all going after Igor Fraga. Both drivers rookies in the series. And I'll tell you, the flip-flop of that opening wreck, putting Bruna Tomaselli up into the 4th position, her best run thus far.
And now I believe she's in the 5th position.
Yep.
I think Kalen Frederick might have got around her.
Kalen Frederick coming up. Now, that'll be interesting. Here's Kalen. He may actually be, he's in the 4th spot. Wonder if Kalen's got enough to close back up on the leaders. Oh, no,
Ooh.
Kalen, what happened there?
He just had the back end step
Whoa.
out. Wow.
Kalen Frederick coming out the transition, Michael, from turn number 10 to turn number 11. He got it all crossed up. Fast driver on the racetrack now actually in the 6th position. Rasmus Lint, who was involved as well, he gets by Kyle Dupel. Rasmus Lint now up into 6th, the 111.8, about a 1/10 of a second quicker than Fraga up front. Igor Fraga trying to see if he can stretch away a little bit here.
Oh, near contact down at turn number 3. Kyle Kirkwood trying to get position again. Igor Fraga commanding the corner again. Boy, Kyle Kirkwood, I know he's got this championship pretty much locked up, but he wants to get around Igor Fraga.
He is driving very aggressively. I'm surprised with how aggressive he is right now. We're so early in the race, Michael. There's still 15 laps to go. I'm surprised that Kyle wouldn't just kind of keep the pressure up and try to see if he can get Fraga to make a mistake, because these percentage moves he's making, throwing it in there, you could end up knotted up and on the sidelines if you don't watch yourself.
And what a weekend for Igor Fraga.
Most definitely, yeah. Igor tried to work his way back, had trouble in qualifying, qualified on pole, tapped the wall in turn 11, lost his fast lap, which put him to the tail of the field. Michael, he drove from 18th up to 7th yesterday.
As Rob called, Rasmus Lint now to the 5th position, gets around Tomaselli.
Dakota Dickerson making a move into turn number 1 to get by Jose Sierra as well. So the drivers who started at the front of the pack starting to work their way back there once again. Leaders, again, down the straightaway to turn number 3. Again, Kirkwood well to the outside. Has he cleared him this time? Indeed, he has. No, but he goes wide. He runs wide. Fraga back to the inside.
And he locked him up, maybe flat spotting those tires. He went a good distance with that brake smoke. Hopefully not damage to those Cooper tires for Kyle Kirkwood. Very aggressive down into turn number 3.
Kyle continues to try to go around the outside. Of course, Fraga hits his prerogative. He's running that inside defensive line, holding the position, not coming back out to the outside of the racetrack. So he's running perfectly. This is just defensive line racing for Igor Fraga for Exclusive Autosport. But Kyle Kirkwood in the number 8 Cape Motorsports car continues to try to run the outside. He cleared him that time, but to clear him, he had to go a little too deep into the braking zone. And he gets really loose coming out of turn 11.
We see Daniel Frost come across 3rd. That next battle will be the battle for 4th. Kalen Frederick coming, but Rasmus Lint right behind him as well.
Wow. Kalen Frederick resets fast lap of the race that last time by, but the 2 Pabst Racing drivers in 4th and 5th are on a roll here now, as is Dakota Dickerson. He was about a full second quicker than Julian Vandervaart. So Dickerson in the Arms Up Motorsports number 9 trying to work his way into the top 8. Here's your leaders again through 3. Kirkwood resetting, going back at him.
He needs to run there for a couple of laps and just get himself dialed back in, get that rhythm down again, because he tried and tried and tried. It's good, though, working on his racecraft, trying to make a pass along the outside. But that said, he does have that championship wrapped up, does not want to throw this race away. Igor Fraga, your leader. Then Kyle Kirkwood, Daniel Frost, Kalen Frederick, Rasmus Lint. That battle for 4th heating up now down into turn number 8.
Here comes Rasmus Lint. He's going to look to the inside of his teammate in turn 8. Book it. Rasmus Lint goes into the 4th position. He gets by Kalen Frederick. Lint now focusing forward to see if he can't reel in Daniel Frost for the 3rd spot. Frost is number 92, running in 3rd. Lint 4th, Frederick 5th, Tomaselli 6th. Dickerson trying to work his way forward as well. Dakota Dickerson has been able to get by Julian Vandervaart, who is falling down the order. Vandervaart all the way down the order. Something happened to Vanderbilt. No, okay, resetting
Timing
here.
and scoring, yeah. We've
timing.
had that issue today.
There's another opportunity. Oh, Kyle Kirkwood almost into the wall. Kyle Kirkwood tried it again, both locking up the brakes. He almost put it in the tires in turn number 3. Kyle Kirkwood. I just don't understand why he's flirting so hard here early on. We're only at the halfway point, 13 down, 12 to go, and Kyle keeps throwing it, keeps rolling the dice to try to find a way by. Wow.
Working his racecraft, but you don't want to end up in the wall at the same time. It's just unnecessary to do at this point.
You know, when you're trying to win a championship, and instead he's got such a massive lead right now, having won 6 of the 8 races. I know he wants more race wins. And again, every team owner wants a driver who's going to go keep winning races. But they also want a driver who's going to be able to bring the car home in one piece. You don't want to wreck this car now. There's absolutely no need to do that and have the expense of wrecking a car. But again, he's putting the pressure on, but I'll tell you, the battle we're going to have to watch pretty soon is going to be Rasmus Lint trying to get by Daniel Frost. That's the fight for third.
I was watching Kalen Frederick, not this past time, but the lap before, a lot of understeer coming out of turn number 11, that front end wiggling. And I will give Igor Fraga credit here. He has not made a mistake because Kyle Kirkwood has pushed him and pushed him and pushed him, and he has kept his line. As we see a near pass there, Daniel Frost, he had Rasmus Lint looking to the outside.
Well, and he's got now Rasmus Lint and Kalen Frederick there. And maybe that's what Kyle Kirkwood's worried about to a certain extent. Maybe he says, hey, Rasmus is coming. He's in the championship fight as well. I need to make sure I get to first. I want maximum points here because he knows Rasmus is coming. You never know what can happen in the last couple of races of the year. We have a triple header at Mid-Ohio in 2 weeks. Then they wait a month before we go to the finale at Portland International Raceway on Labor Day weekend. 5 more races for USF 2000 to go after this one here. And right now, I think that Kirkwood maybe start thinking about points.
Well, that would be a wise thing to do as we're going to have a battle down into turn number 1. Daniel Frost is third. Rasmus Lint fourth. Rasmus wants it, looks to the outside, looks now to the inside. Rasmus Lint makes a pass into turn number 1.
Beautiful pass for Rasmus. Fake to the outside, went to the inside. Daniel Frost back to the 4 spot. Here's what I want for Daniel Frost. Do not make a mistake here now. You're 16 years of age. It's only your second race weekend here at the USF 2000 program. A top 5 would be ridiculously good for Daniel Frost. Don't throw it away here. Hold on to the position. He's doing a good job trying to get by Rasmus Lint, but don't make the mistakes. Here's Frederick on the outside. They're 2 wide coming out of 4. 2 wide into turn 5. Frost to the inside, though, and wisely Frederick thinks better and backs out of it.
Boy, Kalen took him too wide there through turn number 4. I think he was thinking about going wide in turn number 5. That would have been disastrous. Kalen Frederick, after leading the field down with the pole, overcooked it in turn number 3. Now finds himself in the 5th position trying to get around Daniel Frost for 4th.
10 laps remaining. Igor Fraga from Brazil continues to lead here for Exclusive Autosport. Kyle Kirkwood for Cape Motorsports runs in second. The Pabst Racing drivers of Rasmus Lint and Kalen Frederick now bookending Daniel Frost for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Julian Vanderwatt having a good run here in the 6th position. Drivers streaming by here, start, finish.
Rob, I think Kyle Kirkwood's going to try it again down here in turn number 3.
Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me at all. Here they come into 3 once again. Kirkwood, not quite there. Tucks back into the apex. As running very good lap times here. Now those drivers.
Whoa! We have a driver off!
Contacted turn, potentially turn number 3. Michael, call it.
That might have been Kalen Frederick. I think he was trying to go around the outside of Daniel Frost. He might have locked him up and went into the runoff.
Runoff area, of course, lots of room. They've got a local yellow showing down in turn number 3. The remainder of the drivers coming through. So a driver off. Michael picked it up in turn 3. That driver able to get righted and continued. Let's see if we can see them coming through turn 5 and 6. Trying to pick them up here. Through 5. Trying to figure out which driver was involved there, Michael. Yeah, indeed, Kalen Frederick. You were right. Using the cameras that are available to us here at Start Finish. Let's watch a replay here, Michael. Coming down here into turn number 3. This is that battle, as you said. Kalen Frederick trying to go to the inside of Daniel Frost. Wow, he is deep on the inside. There's no grip down there either. Locks it up. He almost took out his teammate coming across. So Kalen Frederick going deep into turn number 3, trying to get by Daniel Frost. The problem with the part, and you know, Michael, down in the bottom part of the racetrack, there's no grip down there. There's no rubber. It's kind of dirty sometimes down there. Wow. overcooked it, and what came within inches of taking out his teammate Rasmus Lindh.
That would have been disastrous. Further back of the field. Who was that?
Dakota Dickerson able to get by Julian Vandervaart. No, that's by Bruno Tomaselli. So Dickerson by Tomaselli, and now it is Darren Keene trying to get by Bruno as well, the young lady out of Brazil. Great battle there. That is Tomaselli, Dickerson, Keene, and Dupel. Dickerson clean out there, though. Actually, that's not Dupel. I think that might be Frederick already. Where's Igor Fraga? I think we've lost Igor Fraga. He's in the tires at turn number 8. Oh, heartbreak for Igor Fraga. In the tires.
Is that Fraga? I think Fraga got around. I think Kirkwood just got around Fraga. Let's get back on the leaders here. Let's get back on the leaders in turn number 3. I think Kirkwood got around Fraga, the latter portion of turn number 8 there. While we were watching the replay of Kalen Frederick.
We need a closer shot here on 8. We're just not going to be able to get it. You're maybe right. I thought Fraga was in turn 8. They may not have been in there. It's always a tough corner to see on our monitors. Kirkwood by Fraga is what Michael thinks he's picked up. Yeah, here's the yellow flags flying. So there's indeed someone in turn number 8. I'm not wrong there. The yellow flags are flying with 7 to go. Local yellow. Will we go full course, though? Not as of yet. Let's see if that driver was able to back up and continue.
We saw Darren Keene lose a few positions.
So right now, as they came across the stripe last time by, it was there's a driver on the inside of the corner, Michael. Look, that's one of the Team Pelfrey cars on the inside of the corner. Here comes Kirkwood. He's the leader. Fraga runs now in second. Third is Rasmus Lindh in the 4th spot coming through.
I think that might be Darren Keene.
Hold on, Daniel Frost in the 4th spot. 5th is the number 80 of Julian Vandervaart. Do you think it might be Darren Keene? It is indeed Darren Keene. He'll back up and try to continue. The corner worker's giving him some instruction. Yeah, Keene able to continue. So Darren Keene, now where he is in that corner, that says to me someone got into the back of him. He turned into the corner, someone got into the back of him and looped him around. There's no way you spin that close and into the corner like that.
If he made that mistake, you're right. He would have nosed it into the tire barriers. To be spun around on the inside of the apex of the turn, that was an assisted turn there.
Someone got into the back of Darren Keene. His weekend just has not been great. But with all this excitement happening, as it did, Kyle Kirkwood came around with the lead, and he is not surprisingly pulling away from Igor Fraga. Let's take nothing away from Igor, a young driver that we are pleased to have in USF 2000, currently running in the 2nd spot. Good run here for Fraga, but Kirkwood by to take the lead. Fraga 2nd. Rasmus Lindh still in 3rd. Daniel Frost, an impressive 4th at this point. 6 laps to go. You know, Michael, you see that on this track, there's so much color around this racetrack, and you're using a long-distance camera to try to see what's going on, especially in turn number 8. It's so hard for us to see who it is in 8 with our monitors. Indeed, it was Darren Keene who had been looped around there. Keene back and continuing. I don't know if he was able to get a lap back or no. Indeed, he's 2 laps back already.
Hats off to Kyle Kirkwood, though. I mean, he tried and tried. We were watching the Kalen Frederick replay, and I think Kyle might have got him in turn number 8, kept pushing and pushing and pushing. But now that he's gotten around Igor Fraga, 1.5 second advantage. So Kyle Kirkwood clearly quicker, but was patient enough, was showing some impatience there for a while, but finally got around Igor.
See, in my mind, you're thinking, hey, you know what, I've got the championship lead. A 2nd spot would be great here, but watching him pull away, you know that he's sitting back there. He's coasting a lot of times. He's not on the throttle as quick as he wants to be because he knows he's that much faster. That's where the impatience comes from. It's not so much that somebody's going to come behind. Yeah, he wants the race win, but knowing that he was that much faster, all he's got to do is get open racetrack and he's going to pull away. That's where the impatience came for Kyle Kirkwood. He's done and pulled away. Now we have to kind of watch the split between Igor Fraga and Rasmus Lindh. Last time by, Rasmus 0.5 second faster than Igor Fraga. He's only 2.4 seconds back with 5 laps to go. You do the math, he'll be right on his gearbox essentially in the final circuit. And once he gets the draft down the straightaway, we may see a pretty solid battle right now for the 2nd spot as well.
Well, I have enjoyed this USF 2000 race weekend. Race number 1, a thriller. Race number 2, a thriller. But hopefully we could just run clean and green to the very end of this thing because there has been so much action here. It is uncanny how talented these drivers are, but how hard they push. Honing that racecraft, it has been a treat to watch them this race weekend. And again, Kyle Kirkwood, so very, very good.
Well, after the chaos, Michael, that we had on the opening lap, the drivers kind of settling down a little bit and then going to work again. We see the great racecraft. It's the mindset in the opening laps where guys are just making mistakes. They're overcooking. They're not thinking. They're not playing the strategy of the race. I'll get through. I'll go racing. I'm going to learn. They're here to learn. Don't wreck cars. You're here to learn. I don't care if you're racing for 20th or 5th. You're learning racecraft. Be smart and make the right calls.
Well, how about Julian Vanderwatt for 5th position, starting to close in on Daniel Frost.
He was one of the drivers I thought we should look at when we went to Road America. Again, rookie driver in the series, getting comfortable with the car, with the team, the series itself, having a strong run here. Julian in 5th position. Same can be said for Daniel Frost. Look at Bruna Tomaselli, her best run for sure. Bruna, the young lady out of Brazil, now running in the 7th position. Kalen Frederick trying to work his way back forward as well, significantly quicker than those in front of him with a couple of laps, but right now he is about 2 seconds behind Jose Sierra. Frederick running in the 10th spot, Kyle Dupel 11th, Oscar De Lazuri Aga in 12th, Calvin Ming down a lap in 13th, Darren Keene down a lap in 14th, and Lucas Cole down 2 laps in the 15th position.
Watching Igor Fraga, he's either pushing harder than he had in the past or his handling has gone away. Back end stepping out time and time again for Igor, so he has got to hold on for these final laps. Rasmus Lint, 2 seconds behind last time, has now gapped that down to 1.8 seconds.
I can guarantee you that they are on the radio with Igor Fraga right now saying, Igor, Rasmus is coming. We want second. Step it up. You look at the lap times last time by. He got it back down to a 1:11.3, a couple tenths off of Kirkwood. Lint goes quicker, 1:10.9, but with 1.8 seconds left and 3 laps to go, Fraga doing everything he needs to right now to stay up front.
He's indeed pushing hard. We'll watch him come through turn number 5. That red car there, that's Igor Fraga. Right behind him, the black and red car is what we have going on. Oh, it's just odd timing and score. I think Rasmus Lint there in 3rd position. So there's Kyle Kirkwood, Igor Fraga, Rasmus Lint. That's 1, 2, 3.
There's nothing like when you're trying to call a race. Of course, we work a great deal off of live timing to give you as much input as we can, and all of a sudden there's a glitch. They put Julian Vanderwatt P1. Whoa, what just happened?
He just passed 3 cars and we didn't even see it.
Deep breath. Bring it on back. Yeah, Kyle Kirkwood still leading. Julian Vanderwatt having a good run, as we said. Have we lost? We potentially have lost Daniel Frost, or is that another timing and scoring glitch? No, there's Daniel here. No, okay. Again, there's a perfect example. They've got Daniel Frost down, and then he bumps back up to 4th spot. So we'll maybe double check before we start jumping on anybody having issues on the racetrack.
Yeah,
2 laps to go.
One of those situations where you're trying to keep track of everybody, watching the screen, and then you glance back over at timing and scoring, and if they throw a little glitch in there, it'll throw you off for a second. But Kyle Kirkwood indeed in command of this race. Rasmus Lint trying to catch Igor Fraga for that 2nd position. 1.9, that time by 1.7 seconds the gap. So as you said, Rob, Igor really stepping up the game here in these final laps.
Look at this top 5 in terms of the international flavor of this series. Of course, Kyle Kirkwood, the American, Fraga from Brazil, Lint from Sweden, Frost from Singapore, Julian Vanderwatt from South Africa. As he comes onto the front straightaway, I believe the white flag will fly this time by for Kyle Kirkwood. He'll jet in front of us here indeed. White flag being shown here at start-finish. Igor Fraga has done a solid job in maintaining that gap to Rasmus Lint. Can Daniel Frost hold off Julian Vanderwatt? At this point, he has. Final lap here for USF 2000. We got a full brace of Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tire Events for you here today in Toronto. Gorgeous day. Being shown a local yellow coming down into turn number 3. No, a spinning yellow.
Yeah.
They got a yellow. There's a car in the apex.
One of the Pelfrey cars.
One of the Pelfrey cars at the apex, the exit apex.
Maybe Kyle Dupel.
See if somebody falls down the order. It's not Vanderwatt.
Bruna Tomaselli.
Either Tomaselli, could be Tomaselli. Bruna Tomaselli potentially spinning. There's debris there as well, Michael. That's in turn number 4. Probably leftover from the contact there, the debris tumbling down the racetrack. But final circuit here. No one's going to be passing anybody in turn number. In fact, look at, we got local yellow in turn number 5 as well. Here comes Kyle Kirkwood, though, folks. Let's wrap this one up. He put pressure on Igor Fraga all race long, but wow, what a tremendous run. It'll be his 9th win of the season, or 7th rather. Here he comes, winner today in Toronto in USF 2000, Kyle Kirkwood. Kirkwood, his 7th victory of the 2018 season. Wow, this kid's been impressive. Igor Fraga, his best career result in 2nd. Rasmus Lint on the podium in 3rd. Daniel Frost will be pleased with a 4th place. 2 top 5s for exclusive Autosport here today. Dakota Dickerson comes back after that opening lap incident. He pushes hard. Dakota's going to end up in 6th behind Julian Vandervaart. The fight, of course, of the checkered flag between Sierra, Frederick, and I believe Dupel. Jose Sierra in 7th, Frederick 8th, Cal Dupel coming across the line to finish 9th. And it's a top 10 result for Oscar de la Zuriaga. Calvin Ming 11th, Bruno Tomaselli, indeed the driver, still stuck over in turn number 3 as the remainder of the cars work around the track. Michael, what we saw there was a fantastic run for Kyle Kirkwood. The American driver putting the pressure on. He knew he had more speed than Igor Fraga. If I was a team owner, I think I'd be sweating because he tried a couple. What I would have called maybe low percentage moves too early in the race, but he knew he had a car to win this one, and he wasn't going to give up. Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida, scoring the win. Igor Fraga over Rasmus Lint.
Sometimes sitting in the public address booth watching someone's racecraft, we think, well, what's he thinking? But Kyle's like, I got this all under control out here.
What are you worried about?
Oh, so good.
Stay off the radio. I'm good.
Well, that was quite exciting. Then we're going to have a replay here of, I believe, the Bruna Tomaselli incident. And there may have been contact. Now, she locks him up here.
You know what she's going to do? She's going to transition, and she's going to get on the throttle too early.
Yep.
Indeed. She gets on the throttle too early, trying to get the thing going. It kind of started to rotate on her. And trying to get by, trying to figure out which driver that is right behind her. Hard to pick the number up there, but again.
Maybe Calvin Ming?
Potentially Calvin Ming, yeah, and the number 21. Regardless, trouble for both of those drivers. And again, it's sad to see because Bruno was having a tremendous run in the top 10. She'll end up finishing classified officially in 13th. I'm going to head down to Victory Lane and have some fun with Kyle Kirkwood, Igor Fraga, and Rasmus Lint.